Yes, sir, we're officially back at it. This is Boog Nice coming at you with the SH Figuarts Ant-Man and the Wasp movie, Ant-Man and Ant Deluxe box set review. Let's do it.
This ain't for no scalper. You a scalper? Then fuck out shit. This one's for them real collectors. That's army building and posing figures. Marvel Legends, imports, mini matey, I'm fucking with them. Hype beast, we know about you. Stay buying figs, don't know about it.
So as you can see, this box is pretty massive. This is how the side art looks. It says SH Figuarts at the top, Ant-Man and Ant. And this glare is kind of crazy, but you can see a shape shifting or size changing silhouette of Ant-Man there and a picture of the figure. And then on the opposite side, more logos and another little picture of Ant-Man riding the ant. Alright, let's get this bad boy open. Alright, so I've got Ant-Man and Ant out of the package. I don't believe that Scott named this particular ant like he did with the first one, or like he did with Anthony in the first movie, who perished in the first movie. But this is SH Figuarts' third Ant-Man. They did one for the Captain America Civil War movie. They just released a single carded version right before this deluxe box set dropped. And now we have this one. I do believe that there are some significant deco changes between the single carded version and this one. In fact, he did do a costume change in the movie. I'm not sure which version is which as far as the figures go, but help me out in the comments if you can. So this is something a little outside of the box for SH Figuarts, but this is something that Hasbro actually tried. They did put out a deluxe box set after the first Ant-Man movie, I believe. There was a little 4-inch ant. 4-inch Ant-Man and an ant, and that was quite possibly one of the worst purchases I ever made in my life. The ant just couldn't stay together. The legs kept falling off. It was really frustrating to deal with. So here's Bandai trying their hand at this, and let's see if they did a better job. Let's go over Ant-Man and his accessories first. Out of the package, he comes with 2 fisted hands. The deco here looks really nice. I think Bandai has done a very nice job on all of their Ant-Man figures because they do a really nice job on their Kamen Rider figures, and this basically is a Kamen Rider. Any of their masked figures, they do an excellent job with it. It's when they have to give you an unmasked head that things get a little wonky sometimes, but I think this looks very clean. The paintwork is nice, but I did notice that out of the package, one of his little elbow guards here came off. I'm gonna have to glue that back on. I don't know why it's not glued on. So on his right arm, that one is off, and then one of his knee guards came off too. So I don't know what's going on with that, but that was straight out of the package. That's unfortunate, but again, like I said, I'll put a little dab of crazy glue on there to keep that in place. But other than that, very clean figure. And he's also packed in with a set of open hands with the fingers slightly spread. So this is good. I always say that any additional hands you can give to somebody who is very animated and doing a lot of running and jumping and doing a lot of expressions without words, maybe, you know, different hands and heads with different facial expressions always bring your figures to life. So glad they included these. Then he's packed in with a set of hands that are made for gripping, so that way he can actually hold on to the harness here, or the saddle, I guess you can say, for the ant. So that's cool. And while I got him here, I might as well just go over his articulation because we're going to get into the ant's accessories next. But the head is on a ball joint and it moves independently of the neck, so you can get a pretty decent range of motion up and down, left to right, pivot. The head is actually kind of loose, but it's a very good range of motion. Shoulders are on a ball joint, not hindered by the shoulder pads because the shoulder pads actually are on a little hinge joint. You do get an upper bicep swivel. You get a butterfly joint here, which is great. So a great range of motion on the shoulders and arms. Double jointed elbow swivel and a hinge on the wrist. Upper torso articulation, you can get them to go back and forward pretty far. You get a little more additional articulation at the lower abdomen, and you can actually turn them left to right there as well. The legs are going to come up that far. A split, you get a really nice split. You can see that double ball peg in there. You get an upper thigh swivel. You get a double jointed knee. You get a hinge on the foot. You get a nice pivot, and you also get a toe joint. So really good articulation for Ant-Man, which is what you want again. And there's that knee pad popping off, but again, for somebody who's running and jumping and hiding, this is definitely what you would want. Looking closely at the ant and the details on him and his articulation scheme, he actually has some weight to him, much heavier than the Hasbro version for sure. That's what kind of pissed me off about the Hasbro version, was that it was lightweight, so you would think you'd be able to get it up on a stand and get him in some cool flying poses and stuff, and you just couldn't do that. He couldn't support the weight of the Ant-Man. If you just stood him up and there was really nowhere to plug in a stand, it wasn't packed in with a stand, so it was just a total failure. But anyway, looking at this guy here, I do think that Bandai could have done more, especially as far as the paint work goes. They could have put more paint and detail into this guy for sure, and they definitely could have given the ant more articulation. Pretty much the only paint here is on the saddle. You got some red and some silver, and that's it. They didn't really detail the ant too much. I wish they would have done that. At least there is some attention to detail there as far as the strap going over there, and you can see a silver buckle, so you can see how the harness is strapped on here and here. But again, that could have used some weathering or something on there. And the articulation is pretty basic. He rotates here and the legs will move out and in, and that's it. They don't actually move up and down at all, which is disappointing. They should actually given them hinges here at some of the outer portions of the legs, and the head will turn too, but it won't really, it'll only rotate for the most part. So that is disappointing, but let's plug on his antenna and wings. So he's packed in with his 2 antenna, and then there's a package with the wings, which look pretty cool. Let me get these out. Alright, so I got everything plugged in. The wings are on like a little ball peg, so they actually do move on the joint here a bit, and I do really like the way that they look. It looks pretty authentic with them being translucent, a clear sort of thin plastic, and that's pretty cool. So you need to be careful with those. You don't want to put your fingerprints on them if you're taking pictures and what have you. It looks like I already did that, but yeah, the larger ones go in the front and then the smaller wings go in the back, and I like that. But if they can put these on sort of a ball peg, why didn't they do that with the legs? You would think SH Figuarts would go the distance with a deluxe box set and give you, you know, a fair amount of articulation. But let's get him on the ant and see how that looks. Alright, so I got him on there. Got him actually gripping the handles here. His hands are softer, pliable plastic, so it was easy to get them on the handles, and I like the authenticity of that. I like the way that looks, and you can actually get him sitting flush on the saddle there too. And because he has good head and neck articulation, you can get him looking forward and crouching down. My only issue is that there is no peg hole in the bottom of the ant or anything, any way to get him up on a stand, although he does come with a little stand, which I'll break out in a second. I would have loved for the legs to be articulated so you can get them back and really get the ant in a flying position, because I mean, this looks like he's standing, you know, but when you get him up, it's not going to be as authentic in my opinion. So a little disappointing with the ant, but overall it's not terrible. I do like the possibilities here for some MSD displays, the multi-scale displays, and maybe some collage setups and different things that I want to explore. So, and here's the little bootleg stand that he's packed in with. I don't know how this goes. Maybe it goes this way. I guess that's it. Hold on. Yeah, I think that's about as good as it gets with the stand. I believe that's how it goes. So yes, I don't really get up too high. I don't like that at all. Alright, I'm getting out of here. Unfortunately, I don't have the time for a size comparison right now, but I promise that I'll get one out there in one of my next videos. I'll do a comparison to the Captain America Civil War version and some of the other SH Figuarts Avengers figures. Like I said, Ant-Man is really nice. I think they did an excellent job on this figure, aside from the elbow guard and the knee pad popping off. I do think that this is a really good offering here from SHF. The ant, on the other hand, is not that great. I'm glad that there is some playability with him, some posability, but definitely not enough and not enough detail. And considering that this pack is $100, that's basically saying $50 for the figure, $50 for the ant. Is this ant worth $50? I don't really think so. But I mean, it is cool, and it is definitely better than the Hasbro version, no question about that. So do with that what you like. You know, take that how you want to. But I guess if you already got the single carded Ant-Man, it's not absolutely necessary that you get this guy unless you have some crazy extravagant display that you want to plan out or something really specific that you want to do. You know what I mean? All right, that's pretty much it. As always, rate, comment, and subscribe. Hit the bell down there. And until next time, peace.
That's crispy.